Sooner? I tried, but you just mumbled and went back to sleep. Ellen had a vague memory of that, but had thought it had been a dream. Thanks for trying. Do I have time to brush my teeth? There was a ding as the captain put on the seatbelt sign. I'm afraid not. Ellen looked out the window of her government jet, which she jokingly called Air Force 3. She saw the dome of the Capitol building, where she'd soon be seated. She saw herself in the reflection, hair askew, mascara smeared, clothing disheveled, eyes bloodshot and burning from her contacts. There were lines of worry, of stress, that hadn't been there just a month earlier at the inauguration, that bright, shiny day when the world was new and all seemed possible. How she loved this country, this glorious broken beacon. After decades of building and running an international media empire that now spread across television networks, an all-news channel, websites, and newspapers, she'd handed it over to the next generation, her daughter, Catherine. After the past 4 years of watching the country she loved flail itself almost to death, she was now in a position to help it heal. Since the death of her beloved Quinn, Ellen had felt her life not just empty, but callow. Instead of diminishing with time, that sense had grown. The chasm widening, she increasingly felt the need to do more, to help more, to not report on the pain, but do something to ease it, to give back. The opportunity had come from the most unlikely source, President-elect Douglas Williams. How quickly life could change. For the worse, yes, but also for the better. And now Ellen Adams found herself on Air Force 3 as Secretary of State for the new president. She was in a position to rebuild bridges to allies after the near-criminal incompetence of the former administration. She could mend vital relationships or lay down warnings to unfriendly nations, those that might have harm in mind and the ability to carry it out. Ellen Adams was in a position to no longer just talk about change, but to bring it about, to turn enemies into friends, and keep chaos and terror at bay. And yet, the face that looked back at her no longer seemed quite so confident. She was looking at a stranger, a tired, disheveled, spent woman, older than her years, and perhaps a little wiser. Or was it more cynical? She hoped not, and wondered why it was suddenly difficult to tell the two apart. Bringing out a tissue, she licked it and wiped the mascara away. Then, after smoothing her hair, she smiled at her reflection. It was the face she kept by the door, the one the public had come to know, the press, her colleagues, foreign leaders, the confident, gracious, assured Secretary of State, representing the most powerful nation on earth. But it was a facade. Ellen Adams saw something else in her ghostly face, something ghastly she took pains to hide even from herself. But exhaustion had allowed it to swarm over her defenses. She saw fear, and its close kin, doubt. Was it real or counterfeit? A near enemy whispering she was not good enough, not up to the job, that she would screw it up, and thousands, perhaps millions of lives would be jeopardized? She shoved it away, recognizing that it was unhelpful. But it whispered, even as it receded, that didn't mean it wasn't true. After the plane landed at Andrews Air Force Base, Ellen had been hurried into an armored car to read more memos, reports, emails.